So now we're going to go over how to input numerical data and find our 5-number summary. So right now I have all of my categorical input. So again, from last video, we learned how to put in the categories, and I just added all of the frequency and I made sure that they equaled up to 50. So now what I'm going to do in a different sheet, so if you see down here it says sheet 1, and so in a separate sheet I'm going to press this plus and it's going to add a new one. Mine says sheet 3 because I already had a different one and I closed it. Yours might say sheet 2, or if you're just starting Excel it might say sheet 1. That's fine. It's a clean sheet, and so here we're going to input all of our numerical data. But that numerical data is going to be raw data. So basically all of the answers that you got. So you asked 50 people, so we should have 50 responses. So again, my question was, how long does it take you to get to school in the morning? And so people said all bunch of numbers. So some people said 10 minutes, the next person said 15, the next person said 5, the next person said 10 minutes again, the next person said 25, the next person said 65, so it takes them more than an hour to get to school. Some person said 25, the next person said 20, the next person said 10, the next person said 15, another 20, this person said 45, the next person said 30, this next person said 30 again, this next person said 20, and so on. So I'm going to keep putting in my numbers, and now I'm done. So 45 was my 50th person. So now, if I scroll up, I see all of my data is inputted. Okay, now these are a lot of numbers. So I don't know about you, but it's going to be really difficult for me to write these all out and put them in order and find my max and my min and my median, my quartiles for my stem and leaf plot. So why don't we let Excel do the heavy lifting for us? First of all, Excel can put our numbers in order. So again, all of these numbers are out of order. So what Excel can do is, if I click on this column, actually it doesn't matter what cell, anywhere in this column, and I come over here, there's this awesome button that says sort and filter. And what this button is going to do is it's going to sort our numbers for us. So if I click smallest to largest, it's going to know to take all of these numbers in this column and put them in order from the smallest on top to the largest on the bottom. If I do largest to smallest, it'll be upside down. So there we go. Now it is smallest, so my minimum is going to be 5. And if I scroll all the way down, I'll see that my highest was 90. So actually, we have someone who takes 90 minutes to get to school. That's an hour and a half. Well, good job, whoever you are, because that is a long time to be on any public transportation. All right, so now that they're in order, yep, it's easy for me to find my min and my max. And actually there's 50 points, so I know that my median is going to be halfway. So these two will be my medians. So the average of 25 and 25 is 25. But it's going to be a little harder to find and a little more work to find my quarter 1 and quarter 3. So why don't we let Excel do that for us? So first, in this third column, just because I want to, you can put it anywhere, but I just like to put it here. I'm going to just type out what my 5-number summary consists of. So I'm going to need my mean. I'm going to need my quartile 1. I'm going to need my median. I'm going to need my quartile 3, not 2. And I'm going to need my max. So the way Excel does this, it uses what we call functions. Yep, just like in math class, a function is something that you input one thing and it gives you another. So in this case, Excel we're going to tell Excel what function to use. We're going to tell what the input is, which is all of our data points, and it's going to give us the output. So it's going to do all the work for us. So let's start with the minimum. That's easy. So in this cell, you have to put the equal sign. The equal sign tells Excel you want it to perform a function. Without the equal sign, it's not going to work. So after you put the equal sign, we are going to write in the word minimum. Nope, just min. I lied. Not the whole word, just min. Now, it's in capital letters. It doesn't have to be. Excel knows what you're talking about, okay? And then in parentheses, I'm going to tell it what numbers. So I want the minimum of all of these numbers. So my numbers, if you look at my list here, start from here, A1, so that's cell, column A, row 1. And I'm going to drag this blue piece. It's a little small. I don't know if you see it right here. So you're going to take it, I'm going to drag it, I'm going to click on it, and drag it all the way down until my numbers stop. Right there. So now we see here that it says A1 and A50. So if you know that, you actually don't have to drag it. You can just, I'm going to delete this. You can just put your equal sign, type in min, and say from you can type in A1 colon A50. And now you have all of your numbers. In just the same way, we're going to find the max. So I'm going to put my cursor here. I'm going to come up here where the function is, and I'm going to put equals max. Open my parentheses, and again, I know my numbers are A1 colon all the way to A50. Enter. My max is 90. The median is also easy. Equals median, open parentheses, A1 to A50. Perfect. But those we already knew, because as soon as we put them in order, we can figure those out. The harder ones are quartile 1 and quartile 3. So Q stands for quartile. So I'm going to put equals. And I'm going to type in quartile. And then I'm going to open my parentheses. Array, right here, array, means what numbers. And so we're going to say, again, A1 all the way to A50. But don't hit enter yet. Now we're going to put a comma. And see where it says quart? Right here, quart. Here you have 1. It's the first quartile. That's the one we want. 2 would be the median, which we already have. Third quartile. That's going to be the other one we need. And then 4 is the maximum, which we already have. So right now we're looking for quartile 1. So I'm going to put a 1. And then I'm going to close my parentheses. Nope, that's a 0. Close my parentheses and hit enter. There's my Q1. And now I can do Q3. So I'm going to set equal. I'm going to type in quartile, open my parentheses, A1 through A50, and put a comma, and now I want the third quartile, so I'm going to put a 3. Close parentheses, enter. And there you go. Now we have the 5-number summary. Min, Q1, median, Q3, and max. For the box and whisker plots, you are actually going to have to do that by hand, but at least now you have the numbers done out for you.